Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Sophie Erber. The U.S. House is set to vote on the now called American Rescue Plan any day now. When can people expect the bill to pass, though? In our top story at 5.
Vaccinations are up, infections are down, $1,400 survival checks are on the way.
The House is scheduled to convene Wednesday morning. That's to vote on this bill. Now, if it passes, the White House says President Biden is ready to sign it shortly thereafter, which means stimulus money could arrive in American bank accounts by the end of this month. But South Dakota Representative Dusty Johnson says the bill is a missed opportunity and that it's full of unneeded government spending.
Now, let's keep in mind that we have $1 trillion unspent from previous packages. Let's keep in mind that 26 out of 50 states have more revenue today than they did a year ago. Let's keep in mind that the CBO said that the economy is rapidly recovering, even without another single dollar of relief. This package is a mistake, and I'll be voting no.
Johnson adding that several Democratic economists have warned this type of relief package risks hyperinflation. Sioux City is now accepting applications for the COVID-19 Small Business Grant Program. The city has received roughly $400,000 to help out businesses that have been negatively impacted by this pandemic. Small businesses in Sioux City with less than 50 full-time employees are eligible to receive up to $10,000. This would be coming to them in the form of a grant for their future expenses.
So to apply for the grant, you'd go to sioux-city.org/CARES Act funding. There's an application on that link, and then there's some required documents that would be emailed to me.
Now, this money can be used for many different expenses. That includes the business's rent, mortgage, utilities, inventory, and wages, but at least 50% of it is required to be used towards employee wages. If you'd like additional information, you're asked to contact Mike Bauer directly at the number on your screen. That is 712-279-6277. A civil rights organization has now filed a lawsuit challenging Iowa's new voter law. This happening today. Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds only just signed this controversial election bill into law on Monday. It reduces early voting from 29 to 20 days, and polls on Election Day will be closing 1 hour earlier. Mail-in ballots will now have to be received before the close of business on Election Day, instead of up to a week later. A member of the League of United Latin American Citizens, also known as LULAC, says the law is an attempt to restrict and limit participation in the voting process, and LULAC's calling it voter suppression.
We are arguing that this is causing undue harm on Iowans, making it more difficult to vote, restricting the amount of time, reducing the amount of time to vote early by mail ballot, and also reducing the amount of time to vote on Election Day.
However, some local lawmakers say the bill is needed. KCAU 9's Lydia Vasquez explains and has the full story for us coming up tonight at 6. The South Dakota Senate wants to decriminalize marijuana for adults over the age of 21. Voters legalized both medical and recreational pot with ballot measures, if you remember, back in the November election. But implementation of the recreational cannabis program is delayed now because of legal challenges. The proposal strips the Class 1 misdemeanor for possession of an ounce or less of pot. It also removes the state's law against possession by ingestion of marijuana. Senators passed the bill with 31 in favor and just 4 against it. The bill now heads to the House. And carry-out alcohol could become a permanent thing in the state of Nebraska. It is currently allowed under an emergency order, of course, because of the pandemic. But lawmakers are advancing a proposal that would make it a new and permanent state law. Under the policy, drinks could only be sold in a sealed, tamper-evident container and not partially consumed. Senator Suzanne Geist says that she's the bill's sponsor and that she introduced it to help local businesses recover some of their lost revenue during this time. No injuries have been reported in a fire that broke out at a machinery shop in South Sioux City. Smoke was visible just over the horizon at about 10 this morning. South Sioux City fire crews were called to the scene of what they heard was a grass fire. The fire was at RJ Machine on 407 West 29th. that is near the Gavilan Grain elevator. Now, crews quickly had that fire under control, but officials did warn that weather conditions posed increased fire risks.
It is really dry right now. We do have a heavy south wind today, 10 to 15, maybe even more than that. So it's real important to keep an eye on, exterior fires, burnt barrels, fire pits, grills, things of that nature, because they can get away from you really quick.
It says that if you are burning charcoal, be mindful where your ashes are headed and also have a hose or a water source nearby. And it's time tonight for our first check on the weather. Meteorologist Marcus Beasley standing by. Marcus, he kind of beat you to the punch on the wind story, but a warm day regardless. Temperatures soaring for some of us into the 70s.
Yeah, very, very warm. Most of us in the upper 60s, lower 70s. Winds gusting at times up to 30, and as that firefighter said, it has been dry recently, and it looks like we're going to continue to see a fairly dry pattern, but there is a few precipitation chances in the forecast. High temperatures today, at least so far, 72 in Sioux City, and that's actually the record on this date. So we might have tied, but when the official numbers come in a little bit later, we may have beaten the old record. We'll see here a little bit in a few hours. 73 degrees for your high in Wayne, 74 in Norfolk, 73 in Yankton, 70 in Cherokee, 68 in Storm Lake. So just nice all throughout the region today. Forecast lows tonight, they'll drop down into the mid-40s. So not too bad of a night temperature-wise, but it does look like we are going to have some rain move in tonight and into tomorrow. I'll have more details on that and what the rest of the week looks like coming up in the 9 on 9. Sophie?
All right, thanks, Marcus. Well, the Food Bank of Siouxland got a few helping hands today from area businesses, and the KCAU 9 news crew was just one of those groups to help them out. A total of 700 meals were prepped by our staff today, items ranging from juice boxes to cans of chili. The program serves about 10 schools, 8 in Sioux City, and 2 in South Sioux City.
We strongly rely on volunteers for this program, so we are so appreciative anytime that volunteer groups can get a group together and sign up and come help us achieve this mission, because we would not be able to do it without.
Now, this program does end in May, in the last week of school, but if you would like to volunteer, you're asked to contact the Food Bank of Siouxland. Their phone number is 712-255-9741. That phone number, if you'd like, will be on our website, SiouxlandProud.com. From cook to teacher, custodian to director, a Sioux City woman has played many roles, all at a local daycare and for decades. KCAU 9's Hannah Adamson spoke with Jane Hyder about her experiences over the past 40 years in tonight's installment of Remarkable Women.
For the past 43 years, Mary Elizabeth Daycare and Preschool has been Jane Hyder's home away from home.
I started out as the teacher in the 3-year-old classroom, and I was here 1 year, and then the director left to go in to teach in the public school system, so then I took her job, so then I've been the director ever since.
But Hyder also has to wear many other hats.
I open the daycare center and I do the cooking. I teach in the preschool classroom.
Hyder says she'll try just about anything to provide a safe environment for her kids.
1 year we had 4 little girls. We gave them a bath almost every day when they came, because they didn't get baths at home. And those little girls, they love somebody just brushing their hair, and making them feel good, put little barrettes in it.
Hyder is a proud alum of Briarcliff University, where she says her passion for child advocacy ignited.
I volunteered at Tommy Dale Memorial Hospital, and that was with severe and profound handicapped children. And I really felt like there was a need for me to be there.
After graduating, Hyder took a position at a now defunct child care center in the exact same building where Mary Elizabeth stands today.
It's so interesting to me that I would be there, and then years later I would get a job and it would be here. It's a strange kind of, coincidence there.
After 5 years serving in other child care centers, Hyder went back to her roots at the current home of Mary Elizabeth, a nonprofit which got its start in 1914.
We have had third generations. We've had people that, I came here when I was little, and it's the grandma bringing the child.
Since that time, Hyder says the demand for quality child care has only gotten bigger.
There is a childcare desert, and we have it in Iowa.
So too has the price tag.
Childcare nowadays costs as much as it does to send somebody to college.
That's why Hyder says she continues to fight for affordability,
We charge parents based on their income.
with no plans of stopping anytime soon.
Everybody deserves to have a wonderful childhood. Everybody deserves to be loved by somebody. There's always families, there are always children that have needed me, and that's why I stay.
In Sioux City, Hannah Adamson, KCAU 9 News.
Well, calls for justice are growing tonight as the country turns its attention now to the trial of Derek Chauvin, a former police officer arrested for the death of George Floyd in the state of Minnesota. We have the latest coming up in a few minutes.
And today is going to be the last warm day before a cool down and light rain tomorrow. And it looks like we're going to have a trend of cooler temperatures as we head into the weekend. Details on that after the break.
You're watching KCAU 9 News with Sophie Erber and meteorologist Marcus Beasley. This is KCAU 9 News at 5.
As well. Your 909 forecast showing a high of 51 Thursday, 53 Friday, 51 Saturday, and then Sunday and into Monday. That system could be a messy one. We'll continue to watch that one, but it looks like we could see a bit of a rain-snow mix Sunday and into Monday of next week, and cooler temperatures in the 40s. So that warmth that we've had the last few days looks like it's coming to an end, at least for a while. And here's the picture sent in today. Someone taking a stroll by the river. Just a great day for it. If you have any pictures to send our way, go ahead and head over to SiouxlandProud.com, click on the weather tab, and drop down to send us your photo to upload some pictures.
As much as I personally enjoyed the warmth, and I know you do too, I do feel bad for the ice fishermen this season. It seems like maybe they got a little bit gypped because March is usually a decent month.
I know, it melted pretty quickly.
All right, thanks a lot, Marcus. Well, it can be considered an offensive street name, but tonight it is pushing a man to educate his community and create change. We'll show you how he's doing it coming up, but first, the murder trial of a former police officer underway. We're gaining insight into how each side might make a case. The latest on the trial of Derek Chauvin next.
They served with courage and honor, and now we're sharing their stories.
Join us each week as veterans talk with us about their experiences in the military. We're getting an inside look at their strength and motivation.
Veterans Voices, tonight during KCAU 9 News at 10.
Now on to a murder trial. It is of Derek Chauvin. You've heard about this case for over a year now. The former Minneapolis officer charged with killing George Floyd. Jury selection well underway today after appeals delayed that trial yesterday. ABC's Alex Prochet is in Minneapolis with the very latest.
Jury selection now underway in the trial of Derek Chauvin, the former Minneapolis police officer accused of killing George Floyd. Already, at least one of the 12 jurors needed is now seated. A man in his 20s or 30s identified as a chemist. Notably, he said he had not seen the video of Floyd's death, but had seen stills of the incident. Legal teams will now have to fill out the jury and find 4 alternates in this case. Inside court today, Chauvin again sat in a suit and mask, taking notes on his yellow legal pad. He's pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter for an incident caught on camera last Memorial Day. He's seen kneeling on George Floyd for more than 9 minutes. Prosecutors had appealed to delay jury selection today after the defense petitioned the state Supreme Court over an order to reconsider reinstating a third-degree murder charge against Chauvin, a charge that experts say could be easier for prosecutors to prove than second-degree murder.
It's not just that they're saying we need to get the third degree reinstated. They're also saying we want to sort all of this out so that the defense doesn't have an argument later if there's a conviction to appeal and say, wait, they messed up at the beginning of the case.
The judge in this case saying they'll move forward with jury selection unless a court of appeals tells him otherwise. Also today, some insight into how each side may try to make its case. The prosecution saying they expect to call the Minneapolis police chief as a witness, and Chauvin's attorney saying this morning the cause of George Floyd's death is the subject of great controversy.
You're going to hear them say that the cause of death very well may have been drug use and underlying medical conditions rather than the incident itself.
And legal experts are adding that even if Floyd died due to some pre-existing condition, Chauvin's actions may have accelerated his death. Well, people experience racism in many forms, and for one man, he sees it on a street sign. Why it's a painful reminder of racism he's experienced, coming up. Painful and offensive. That is how one man describes a street name every time he passes it. Now he's asking his city to change the name and explaining why he thinks it needs to be done. Catherine Hessel has their response.
Hanging Tree Court, a small street with only 9 houses, sits in the Spencer Creek subdivision in St. Peters. Lonnie Williamson has lived in the area for over 25 years, but just happened to pass the street a few months ago, and it immediately took him back to when he was in college.
My father asked me to help integrate a junior college not too far from where we lived. And we used to sit under this tree. It had a little table and everything. It was a beautiful campus.
One day, a teacher asked Lonnie and another student to give a speech about what it's like being black.
And the next day I came to school and they had a noose hanging out of the tree and had a sign with a doll in there, a monkey, saying the only good one is a dead one.
Lonnie says he left school, got drafted, and went into the Army. Decades have gone by, but when he passed Hanging Tree Court, it immediately brought him back
to that tree, to that time on that campus.
Lonnie reached out to the city administrator about changing the name. He responded, "At this point, we are considering all viewpoints as well as those of the persons most affected by a street name change, the 9 residents that live on that street." Lonnie then went to the Board of Aldermen meeting. He was provided with the city ordinance on changing a street name and the names and numbers of the residents who live on the street. It would be up to Lonnie to contact those individuals and talk to them about changing the name.
It should be the city responsibility. You know, they do a good job in some other area. They can take care of this I think in no time.
Taking a live look outside now on this warm night, Marcus returns with one more check on our forecast. Before we wrap up here at 5, let's check in first with Tim for what's coming up at 6. Hi, Tim.
Hey, Sophie, it's been one of those days for folks who wanted to be outdoors, but for boys basketball teams at the state tournament in Des Moines, they are indoors, of course. Already one winner today. Western Christian has picked up an opening round win. Jake has the highlights and the complete story from Des Moines coming up. That's at 6. Elsewhere tonight, we'll also look at growing concerns over the passage of a new election law here in Iowa. One group has already filed a suit challenging the law. Meanwhile, the governor is standing by that change. Our Lydia Vasquez has the story after World News Tonight. And in January, folks in South Dakota were asked to help name 12 snowplows for the Department of Transportation, just in time for spring, right? Well, we'll find out if Sophie happens to be one of those names. That's coming up, of course, at 6 o'clock. Tim definitely is not.
I don't even know if I am. I'm pretty good now after living here and in Michigan at shoveling snow, so that wouldn't be too bad. And no snow in the forecast, thank goodness.
Yeah, no snow really in the forecast. Just a nice night with a chance for some showers.
All right, thanks, Marcus. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here at 6, and until then, we hope you have a great night.